Today we're in southern Missouri and gonna look for some unique and odd, maybe some weird roadside attractions. Starting in the southeast corner of the state, gonna head west, kind of up and down, kind of maybe some back roads, maybe some main roads. We'll see what we can find using the website Roadside America. They have a map and kind of give you little summaries of what the places are that we might check out. So yeah, we'll start here in the southeast corner of the state and head west and see what unique, weird, interesting, always entertaining stuff we can find in Missouri. So our first stop isn't so much a roadside attraction, but a kind of a historical little area. We're a little east of Charleston, Missouri, and this is the site of the sharecropper strike of 1939. Right up and down this road, there were a couple thousand sharecroppers that were protesting how they're being treated. And if you go over here, they have a nice display here that talks all about it. You can see there's them on the highway. I'm guessing that's this road right in front of us. Talks about some of the different sharecroppers. On a wintry morning in 1939, residents of southeast Missouri woke to find 2,000 black and white sharecroppers alongside two state highways. With them were their families and the few meager belongings that they owned. It tells the whole story here. So, interesting way to get our day started. Staying in Charleston, we head over to Boomland, and it's named Boomland because they sell fireworks here, but it is a lot more than just a fireworks store. They got some kiddie rides outside. You can see it was established there, 1958. When you walk in, it's just all kinds of interesting random stuff, perfect for this video. It's kind of like a Walmart slash Buc-ee's slash Jungle Gyms, if you saw that video I did about Ohio. And you can get, I don't know if you can get anything you want, but you can get all kinds of different things. So yeah, we'll just take a stroll around and check things out. You can see they claim to have the world's largest fireworks store. So there's 3 Boomlands in Missouri. So I don't know which one, if this is the largest one or as a whole they are. I'm not sure. There's a lot of them here, but this is just kind of the main little store connected to where we were just at. And you can see they got a lot of fireworks, some very interestingly named fireworks. So it's kind of fun just to walk around and see what all kinds of crazy things they have here. I'm not a big fireworks person, but it was fun to walk around the store. But then you go outside, and this is, I'm guessing, the large store. Doesn't look too busy over here. But I guess this part wasn't open when I was there. I'll have to come back and check it out another time. Next to a very busy road here in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. And just kind of out of nowhere, there's this awesome statue. Look at that guy. You know, there's Muffler Man statues around that are well known and popular, but there's not too many like this. Very distinctive looking. Looks like there's a little bit of lighting down here at night, would be cool to see it at nighttime. It's also right across from a hotel called the Relax Motel. A hotel called the Relax Motel. I should say motel. That's a cool sign, and got the horse and buggy. Yeah, this is a cool little stop. And if you look at in the back here, there's a keyhole. I wonder what's inside there. I wonder who has the key. They're not going to be able to get in there even if they have a key. Anyways, I really like this guy. Would love to see him at nighttime. Here's a better view of that fantastic sign. Took a while to get to this one, but this is Lake Wappapello, and part of it, kind of the northern part of it. But the reason I'm here is to see that guy. Stopped off here in Piedmont, Missouri. Obviously we're in Missouri. Everything's in Missouri today. And I drove down through the downtown over there. Seems like a nice little town of almost 1,900 people. But did you know Piedmont is the UFO capital of Missouri? And they seem to embrace it, that's for sure. Apparently, in 1973, there were a couple months of lots of UFO sightings here. There were hundreds of phone calls to local authorities from people saying they've seen things. There was even a book written about it. There's investigations here. And yeah, this became the UFO capital of Missouri by the General Assembly. Gotta love it. What are you pointing at? What is that? Popped up to Mountain View. This was on a small town downtown video. And I'm here because they got some horses. Little art project, kind of folk art. We ran out of daylight yesterday, and so only got to a few places, but another nice sunny day here in central Missouri. And we're in Mountain Grove, another town that I had on a small town downtown video. Rainy that day. Great that it's nice and sunny. And here we got the world's largest U.S. Constitution. So there you go. What a unique roadside attraction here in Mountain Grove. They have an awesome little downtown square, and I showed that in the previous video. But giant U.S. Constitution, we the people of the United States. So great way to start the day. So we're now in Mansfield, and they have an interesting little town square too. Some cool old buildings. A couple things here to check out, actually. So I'm going to start here. This is an interesting display, which is for Carl Mays. He was a Major League Baseball pitcher, and he was from here in Mansfield. And he had this submarine style, almost underhand style. This was back in the early 1900s. Now it talks about him here, about, making his Major League debut in 1915, famous spitball submarine delivery. What it doesn't say here, though, is that one game, he actually hit a batter named Rev Chapman from the Cleveland Indians and killed him. And it's to this date the only time a Major League Baseball player was killed by an on-field injury. And Carl Mays was the unfortunate guy that threw that pitch. So yeah, so interesting. Obviously, they're probably not going to mention it here in something to glorify him. But also, this is where Laura Ingalls Wilder lived for a period of time. So we're going to check out a couple things about Laura Ingalls Wilder. So we were just down that way in the downtown, and this is the house, the first house that Laura Ingalls Wilder lived in Mansfield. Lived here with Almanzo from 1898 to 1910, and I think it's an Airbnb now. It's been restored, just got restored about a year ago. So kind of interesting. They have a whole historic site and park and museum in another spot of town, but this was the first house she lived in here. So just on the outskirts of town, this is going to be the next home for Laura Ingalls Wilder. So Ingalls moved here in like 1890s. I showed the other house that she lived in, but she was originally born in Wisconsin, moved to South Dakota, then moved here in the 1890s brought a wagon train down here. Tell a nice little history here on the display, and started writing her books here, and lived to be 90 years old. Both her and her husband lived to be 90, 92 years old. And her daughter lived here too. Her daughter talks about here on the back, Rose, wrote some novels in the 20s and 30s. And then 1933 was when Laura Ingalls Wilder published A Little House in the Big Woods here. And, those became Little House on the Prairie for the inspiration for those. And then she lived here till she died. All right, one more place in Mansfield we're going to go to related to Laura Ingalls. is Hartville over that way. They got a nice little downtown area. It's a very small county seat, about 600 people, and they got a nice lake right here. But we're here to see this, as Hartville is the center of population in the 2020 census, which is an unusual attraction. And yeah, so if you take all the population, this is the middle of all the population, which is you look at some maps, you can kind of see where population figures are largest and how it pulls one way or the other, and this is it. This park is not the exact center, as I believe it's over that way a little ways on private land, which is the pinpoint of it, but you can't go over there. So they put it here in the park, which is close enough. You can put Hartville on the map. Every 10 years they do the census and they figure out where the center is. So it was actually a different town in 2010 as the population shifts a little bit, but for at least till 2030 this is where it'll be. Welcome to Marshfield. We're on Route 66, or basically real close to Route 66, and there's a nice mural right here. There's a couple things we're going to check out, but nice mural. And this is to commemorate the 130th 4th of July parade, I believe. And it's significant because it's the longest running parade west of the Mississippi. So we got a nice mural here. We're going to wrap up this trip in Springfield, and between here from Marshfield to Springfield, we're going to take Route 66. And now that it's 2026, it's the 100th year anniversary of Route 66. And I know there's plans to do lots of things along the route. I'm not going to travel it, from beginning to end like I did a few years ago, but I'm sure I'll check out Route 66 again. It's so many quirky and unusual things. Kind of perfect for a video like we're doing today. Made it to our ending point. We're here in Springfield, Missouri. It's one of the big cities one of the bigger cities on Route 66, and thought this would be a good place to end. I'm in the central square of the city, and there are a lot of things to see in Springfield that would be unusual or quirky. You can make a whole video like I just made about Springfield, but I thought I'd take a smaller one. It's very, very small. It's behind me over here. It's actually on the road, and it's the spot where Wild Bill Hickok was standing when he shot and killed little Dave Tutt in a duel. He shot across the park square from 225 feet and killed him. And it was like one of the first shootouts of the Wild West. It happened right here. Would have been coming right over my shoulder heading this way. So there you go. Pretty cool place here in Springfield to check out. A lot of Christmas decorations are still up here in early January. But I hope you enjoyed this video, something different. And whenever I put something on the video, it's like weird. I don't necessarily think weird is bad. So hopefully you enjoyed the unusual that Missouri has to offer as much as I did. And in the cemetery now, obviously. It's a bit of a death go around. I like it. 7.2.